We've been live for a couple seconds now. For whatever reason, my webcam doesn't want to work. So hopefully I can fix that later. Or worst case scenario, I might need a new laptop. Wait. Yay! It works! Oh my gosh. Oh, I've been struggling with this for the past 20 minutes. Oh my goodness. Alright, gonna turn off my phone. Doing it now. Yeah, Elijah. Hopefully you'll be on the live stream. I'm gonna pull up the chat right now. Oh, don't freeze on me, laptop. Don't freeze on me, laptop. Don't freeze on me. Okay, I think. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's try to get things going. Gotta pull up the chat. All that fun jazz. Ah, Grant, you're first. Yes. No, I didn't forget. I did not forget. I figured. Nat. I see Nat, cat, bat, sad, rat. It's weird. But anyways, yeah, glad you're on. Hopefully we'll get a couple more people online. Be a fun, steady sesh tonight, y'all. We got 3 people online. Let's see here. Got that going. Okay, I can minimize that window. 4 people watching. Oh man, it's been a long day, y'all. Hope you're all ready to do some geometry for the next hour. And if you guys are really awesome, maybe I'll make it an hour and a half. All right. So let's see here. Gotta get that ready. I also have myself a nice tub of red velvet cake ice cream from Ben & Jerry's. No, this episode was not sponsored by them, but wouldn't complain if they wanted to sponsor me. Ah, man. 5 people online. Hey, if there's only 5 people online tonight, I'm okay with that. How are you going to stay up that late? Well, here's my solution, Nat. Got my red velvet ice cream. Ben & Jerry should hire you. I wish, Ariana. Trust me, I wish. What would they make? Math surprise. Ooh, that could be a contest. Make an ice cream that's mathematical. Like a mathematical name for ice cream. Ooh, perfect solution. I don't know. By the way, random fact, I got new baby turtles. I'd show you guys a picture of them, but they're over there. I'll take a picture and then show it to you guys tomorrow morning. So delicious. Can I go through the numbers? Well, that depends, Yob. Are you talking about the numbers negative infinity to infinity, because I can't count that fast? Or are you talking about the name of an ice cream? Go through the numbers. 8 through 13. Got it. Cool beans. Yeah, let's do that. We can start with that. I'll do a couple, but not all of them, Yob, because I need you to do some work. Okay. So right here, Eob, number 8, you've got 3 triangles with 3 different side lengths. You should be thinking side, side, side. Just a quick recap. Remember, you have only 3 similarities to think about. Angle, angle, side, angle, side, or side, side, side. It's gonna be one of those 3. Preferably 9. Okay, well, we can do 9. Let's still do 8 working into 9. So because I have 3 side lengths on these triangles, I'm going to be going with SSS. So in both triangles, I'm going to want to label my parts. I have a short side, medium side, long side. Same thing down here. I've got a short side, Oh wow, I was about to make a mistake. Medium side, long side. So when you have a side-side EOB, we want to do short over short, medium over medium, large over large, and make sure that those ratios work. Now, I'm going to go left to right. If you choose to do right to left, that's fine, but you better do the same thing over and over. Right to left, right to left. Do not change directions, okay? So I'm going to say here 12 over 9. For my medium, I'm going to say 18 over 12. For my large, I'm going to say 20 over 15. And so I have to check, do these all reduce to the same number? Well, 12 over 9 is divisible by 3. So I'm going to get 4 over 3. Okay, 18 over 12 is going to reduce to, they're both divisible by 6. So I'm going to have, let's see here, 3 over 2. And literally as soon as I see this, it's like, whoa, they're not the same. Automatically, not similar. Okay, but just for all you non-believers back there, I'm going to do the last one, the 20 over 15. Both of those numbers are divisible by 5. 5 goes into 24 times, and then into 15 3 times. So 2 of the ratios worked out, but not all of them, right? This was the lone sore thumb. So because that was not similar, it was not the same ratio, we're going to say not similar. And the reason, this is a very important one here, okay, you got to say that the sides are not proportional. Okay, you've got to put that. If you don't put that down, Mr. T ain't going to be happy. Okay, now you said preferably 9 or 12. Here's what I want you to try, EOB. I want you to try separating your triangles for number 9. And I want you to do the same thing that we just did on number 8. Okay, you're going to do that. And then let me know in however long it takes you what you get. Okay, I will do 12 though, because 12 involves angles. Right now, in my 2 triangles, I have 2 right angles. So right now, I'm looking at angle, angle, and right now I have only 1 angle. I need to look and see, is there a second angle that is congruent? What are the reasons for not being similar? Corresponding lines are not similar. You can say the same thing, corresponding lines are not similar. That works too, EOB. Reasons for not being similar, you really have 3 technically. 2 for the most part. Sides are not proportional. Angles are not congruent. Technically, you could say there's not enough information, but for your test, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be enough information for you to disprove or prove. Okay, so it's really going to be just 2. Now, in this first triangle here, all 3 angles better add up to 180. You can't forget that. You cannot forget that you can still solve for a missing angle. So right here, I've got my 90 and my 60. And we know that that's 150. Well, what I'm going to do is take the 150 and subtract it from 180. What up, Dante? And that's going to get me 30 degrees. Guess what? You're done. Because look, 30 degrees there and 30 degrees there, those are my 2 angles. I got the 90-90 and the 30-30. Now, if I were to go through and say, hey, I can solve for this missing angle, you're going to find that that's 60 degrees. You got all 3 angles. That's totally fine. Okay, but you need a minimum of 2 angles. So here we're going to say triangle DEF is similar to triangle. Please do not forget this. Please, please, please do not forget this. Okay? Triangle DEF. D is the 30 degree, E is the 90, F is the 60. So we're going to follow that same marking over here. 30, 90, then 60. So we're going to say triangle BCA. Why are they similar? Angle, angle, similarity. Okay. So Eob, I helped you with 12. Technically I did 8. You're finishing up 9. All right. So let's take a look at 4B that Natalie asked for. Actually, I don't know if that's Natalie or Natalia. That would be good to know. Let me know. So let's see there. 4B. Okay, so we have a quadrilateral. Since it's a four-sided figure, that means that all four angles need to add up to 360 degrees. You cannot forget that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 75 plus 75. That's going to get me 150. Now here's the deal. Some of you guys get here and you're like, Mr. T, I have no idea what to do here. You switched laptops. Good job, Link. Okay. You can't forget what these markings are. We haven't changed anything we've done, right? Nothing's changed. We've got to still remember that those markings mean that those triangles, wow, those angles have the same measure. Well, if they have to have the same measure, that means they're going to be the same. They're going to be equal. Okay, so if there are two things that are equal, you have two ways of looking at this. You can say, hey, they both have to be x. I don't know what they are, but they both have to be x. Okay, fine. So let's say that it's x plus the 150. That gives me 360. Cool. X plus x is 2x. And so guess what? We can solve for x. We can work backwards. So now we have 2x equals 210. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So then x equals 105. Okay. So now going back here, we can say those are both 105. I'm going to erase that in here. Well, guess what? If you look at the figure to the right, these 105s are the same. So I can literally do the same process all over again and show that those angles are 75 degrees. Now, in order for figures to be similar, all the corresponding sides need to be proportional. Okay? Does 5 over 9 equal 5 over 9 equal 5 over, well, wrong one, 5 over 9 equal 5 over 9? The answer is yes. Okay, all the ratios are the same. Are all the angles congruent? Yes, they are. Really behind the scene. Sorry. Anyways, so these two conditions have been met. So since both cases are true, we are going to say that these are similar. And I believe maybe I even said just tell me yes or no, but you still got to give me the similarity ratio. Now the directions here say give it from smallest to largest. So we want the smallest figure to the largest figure. So that's where we say, oh, it is left to right for this one, which is 5 to 9. On a different one, I believe it was something like this one. The smaller figure is on the right side. So we're going to do right over left because it's small over big. All right. So Natalie, hopefully that helped you out with number 4B. Ariana, you got a bunch of questions, but hopefully, yeah, no one else has asked any numbered questions. So Link, hopefully that helped you. Let's take a look at 17 first. Okay, I wish to solve for x. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to remember that even though I have these parallel lines here, I'm going to be very tempted to do the side splitter theorem. I actually don't want to do that here because the side splitter only works with the sides. That doesn't work with the bottom. Does not work that way. you're going to have to separate your triangles. Okay, so for this one, we're going to say small triangle, 4, 12, oh my goodness, and x. And then on the little triangle, wow, we just did that. The big triangle, we have a length of 7. We have a length of 21. I don't know why I did that. And then our last one down below, x plus 2. What's up, Don Corleone? All right, so then here we're going to say, well, we could do 4 over 7 equals x over x plus 2. Or you could say 12 over 21 equals x over x plus 2. You have a choice there. If I'm going to be honest, pick the smaller numbers, make your life easier. 4 over 7 equals x over x plus 2. Right? And then just you know, cross multiply. Cross multiply. Okay, so you're going to have 7x equals 4 times x plus 2. Some of you have skipped the step of, you know, showing what happens before the distribution. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your lives, but I'm going to tell you right now that's where most mistakes happen. So does not hurt to show some work. Okay, and now we're just going to, you know, solve for x. So we're going to do minus 4x. So then we're going to have 3x equals 8. So then x equals 8/3. Take a second to digest that one. And speaking of digesting, yes, red velvet for the win. Oh, that's why. I tasted something chewy in there and I thought it was bad ice cream. No, it has cream cheese frosting swirl, so that means there are going to be little chunks of cream cheese in there. Yes. Also, by the way, while it is delicious, it's not my favorite ice cream. No, we'll do ice cream next semester when it gets closer to summertime and it's nice and warm. I'll bring in some ice cream, okay? Oh, man. All right. Ariana, we'll do number 19. All right. This one right here, you'll notice has the two parallel lines. Because we have that, we can do our side splitter theorem. What about those cookies, Mr. T? Calm down, Link. I'm going to pick them up tomorrow morning. So right here, we're going to say x over 7 equals x plus 2 over 21. So here we're just going to do some beautiful cross multiplying. 21x equals 7 times x plus 2. And then just, you know, do some beautiful math. Bubba lubba dub dubs. 14x equals 14. Man, I almost feel like I made that too easy for y'all. I should up my game. Now, Ariana, let's pretend for some reason you decided, Mr. T, I don't want to solve it this way. I want to make my life, you know, difficult by not remembering everything about my theorems. Check this out. If you separate your triangles, you'll have an x plus 2. You will also have for your big triangle, x plus 7, and then x plus 23, because you would be adding those numbers to that side. Well, let's be honest here. I don't like torturing myself. I don't want to have to deal with something like this. you will eventually get to the same thing, but you're going to have this beautiful mess here. That means you're going to have to FOIL. I wouldn't go about that route if I were you. It'll work, but remember, you need to be efficient with your time. You need to be practical with how you want to solve it. So again, if you see the parallel lines, try the side splitter. I would go with that approach. All right. 21. Let's do 21 next. And then we'll go to Ariana's 29. Ariana, if I forget, just let me know, okay? All right, so 21 per Dante's request. Then we'll get to 26 per Noah's request. Dante, I'm going to tell you right now, in the answer key, I believe it only gave the answer for X, but it was actually the answer for Y. So let's just double check our work here. Okay, we've got our vertical angles, and we've got to make sure we do distinct marks. Okay, because look, that double tick goes to the 10 and the Y. The single tick goes to the 6 and the 8. If I go left to right, I better do 6 over 8 equals Y over 10. Now, you can simplify before you multiply and cross-multiply, or you can just multiply right away, then simplify it later, okay? The choice is yours, Dante. I'm going to let you finish that one, though. But first, let's go back to X. 6 over 8, I can write, I promise, equals X over 9. All right, you're going to solve both of those, Dante. Those ones are yours to keep. Okay, in a bit, I want you to write for me the answers that you get for both of them. All right? Cool. Noah, we're going to jump to yours 26, since it's right along the path. Okay. We got a lot of parallel lines here. Okay, right now I'm going to identify them. We got this one here, because of that fat arrow. This one here. And lastly, this one here. Hey, Don Corleone. Noah had a question. I'm here to answer it. Okay? If you know, give helpful, constructive help, I don't want you here. Anyway, so Noah, check this out, my friend. When you have those parallel lines, if you turn your paper sideways, you can see, hey, X goes over 6, 40 goes over 28. And then guess what? We can do the same thing with Y. We can say Y over 15, set that equal to 40 over 28. Again, you just go where the parallel lines go, and they say, hey, they go this way, so you're going to go that way. So, same thing as I said before to Dante. Noah, I want you to solve 26 out, and then give me the answers. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Well, Don Corleone, it better be good, because if he ends up swimming with the fishes, we can't be friends anymore. All right? Ariana, you said 29. All right, let's do this. So, first off, I see a right triangle. So, when I see a right triangle, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's a right triangle inside of a right triangle. That means I'm going to be dealing with my 3 similar right triangles. Small triangle, medium triangle, large triangle. Literally, this is our, our table. So check this out. Beautiful table here. Small triangle, medium triangle, large triangle. I thought it was a dish best served on a cold plate or something like that. Anyways, so then we also have our short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. Okay, so in the small triangle we have a short leg of 1. That might be bothering some of you. There we go. Got a short leg of 1, a long leg of Y, a hypotenuse of 3. Now the hypotenuse is 3, Again, because in the small triangle, hypotenuses are across the right angle. In our medium triangle, the short leg is now y, the long leg is x, the hypotenuse is z. Okay? Last but not least, in our large triangle, the short leg is 3, the long leg is z, and our hypotenuse is that entire length, which is going to be x plus 1. Now, you can't get the right answer. Well, Dante, I told you that the answer key is wrong, so you have to tell me what your answers are, and I'm going to tell you if you're correct or not. So right here, the only proportion I can really solve is the corners one. So I'm going to solve that right away. We're going to say 1 over 3 equals 3 over x plus 1. So right now I'm going to have 9 equals 1 times x plus 1, which is just x plus 1. So now we'll have x equals 8. Why'd you have to write your answers as a decimal? Yes, Dante, those are correct. You could have just made your life so much easier if you put it as an improper fraction. Because again, remember, you're not allowed a calculator on that test tomorrow. But, you know, kids these days. Anyways, back to the math. Once you have x, plug it back into your chart. So right here, I know that this x, I'm going to try to write this a little smaller, is now an 8. When I plug it in here, I have 8 plus 1, so that's going to give me a 9. So now that I have it plugged in, I can now solve for z and y. I can now say 1 over y equals y over 8. So now y squared equals 8. Y equals the square root of 8. Why are we not allowed calculators? Because you got a brainchild. Also, most of this stuff is stuff you should be able to do by hand with your algebra skills. Okay? 16, please? Yes, we'll get to 16. When we get to next semester, we're going to be doing trig, and we're going to definitely need the calculators. You'll be allowed calculators for the entire semester, except for 2 tests. There are only 2 tests where you will not need calculators at all. Cool. So here, the square root of 8, I got to break it down. If you remember my perfect squares method, right, we have to try to divide the biggest perfect square into the number, and then it'll clean up nicely. So here we're going to say this is 4 times 2. Well, the reason we do that is because then we can say, hey, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 2, I can't break it down, so I just leave it right there. Should probably box my answers. Last one for z, we're going to solve this little corner here. 8 over z equals z over 9. Thought I got something in my eye. Okay, so then cross multiplying, z squared equals 72. Z equals the square root of 72. So if I look at my list of perfect squares, right now I'm missing one that's going to help me. 36. Check it out. 36 times 2. And what is the square root of 36? 6. Boom. And there you have it. Got our answers for x, y, and z. So Ariana, yes, a little bit of work, but totally doable. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I did 26, did 29. Dante had a question on 16, so we'll jump to that after this commercial break, sponsored by Ben & Jerry's. Not actually sponsored. All right, 16, here we go. Now I know there's a bit of a delay between me talking and you guys seeing the chat. I think it's roughly a 5 to 9 second window. So hopefully, Dante, your question is, you know, basically, how do I put this? Because I can't think right now. Sponsored by the Quadrilateral family. Yeah, sweet. As long as I don't have to do anything for the gang, we're good. So Dante, you have that 15 there. What you got to be careful for is remembering, hey, you've got these vertical angles, right? I only needed a single tick mark. How to set it up. Okay. So this double angle mark, this vertical angle points to the 15. This double angle mark points to the 20. So what I can say is 20 over 15 and set that equal to 6 over x. And there you have it. You're going to cross multiply and solve for x. All right, Dante? Yes. You should be hearing that message in about 7 seconds. Right now I got 12 people on the live stream. Better than the last quiz one. We had only 5 people, which I don't mind, right? Like I'm still helping people. I just felt kind of defeated because I was literally having my one-on-one meetings with all y'all, and a lot of you said, yeah, I really like the live streams, and then all of a sudden only 5 people do it. Yay. I just felt kind of defeated, but you know, that's life sometimes. So hopefully I got a couple more questions. 90 over 20. Dante, I love you, buddy. I'm gonna show you something. All right. So this 90 out of 20, if you could reduce it by getting rid of the zeros, right? Or saying, hey, these numbers are divisible by 10. I can write the division sign. Divisible by 10, right? So then you get 9 over 2. Do not forget the cookie. Oh my gosh, dude. I told you guys, I'm getting cookies, okay, in the morning. Anyways. Yeah. Just keep it as an improper fraction, dude. All right. Any other questions? AJ, you got any questions? Eob, you had a couple, but hopefully I answered them. Ariana hasn't responded in a while, so I don't know if she had her questions answered. Chill, he's on that teacher's salary. Why is period 5 getting them again? If you don't remember, Link, then I guess I don't have to bring them. Yay, but don't actually tell her why. Don't tell her why. Do not tell her why. If you guys tell her, I won't bring the cookies. Uh, 15. All right, let's go to 15. All right, so same idea here, Dante. You have the parallel lines. So you could be tempted to do, you know, the side splitter theorem, but then you see, hey, I'm missing, you know, part of my triangle. And that's okay. You don't have to use the side splitter. You can do it, but let's go ahead and separate these triangles. You got a little triangle and a big triangle. So on our little triangle, you just have your x and 7. For your big triangle, the left side's already given to you. You've got your 15. For your small triangle, or the right side of the big triangle, you have 7 plus 35, which is 42. So you're going to set up your proportion x over 15 and 7 over 42. Now, can you solve this one on your own, Dante? And make sure you get it right. I'm going to take that as a yes, because I can't actually see you guys. I know there's a program, I think it's called Zoom, where you can do group stuff like that. My biggest concern is that, you know, I can't, like, I know there are ways to make it so that only I'm talking, then only other people are talking, but I feel like that might be a lot of work. Maybe down the road, I don't know, maybe even over the winter break, you guys can help me test it, and then we can see, hey, you know, is this something Mr. T could do? I don't mind the live streams, don't get me wrong. You guys can always watch these at a different time, but then I can't hear your guys' voices, right? Ariana, you said for 31, you got y equals the square root of 48. Okay, so let's check that out. I'm going to do that work off to the side for number 31. Okay, so you said you got the square root of 48. Now let's say all of you guys do exactly what Ariana did. Okay, you try to break this down using a factor tree. You do 2 and 24. Well, neither of those numbers are perfect squares, so keep breaking it down. 2 times 12 gets you 24. You can break it down again by 2. 2 times 6. You can break it down again by 2. 2 times 3. Right? You did something like this forever ago. You know your factor tree. Oops, my bad. So if you do it this way, Ariana, you have to remember that you're circling pairs of prime numbers. Okay, like you've got to make sure that you're only circling the pairs. I have 2 pairs, so I'm going to bring out 2 different 2's. This 3 is the lonesome 3 that gets stuck inside of the radical because it has no pairs. So then that's going to simplify to 4 rad 3. Okay? Hopefully that helped you out. If you still have a question, ask. Polka dot, yay! 13B. Let's do it. 13B. 13. Okay. So if we look at our figure polka dot, Logan, and we separated our triangles, right? We have a 6, a 4, a 9, and then 4 plus 6 is 10. So what we got to do is 6 over 9, check to make sure that's 4 over 10. Now, because this is a side angle side, I might be tempted to just cross multiply and see if the numbers multiply. 9 times 4 is 36. 6 times 10 is 60. Whoa. They do not equal. Not even by a long shot. Right? So then we say not similar. And for this one, Logan, you're going to say that it's because the sides are not proportional. Ice cream break. I hope those of you that I left to work on the other problems, you guys are doing fine. again, bug me if you have questions. Okay, I'm giving up some of my time for you because this is your last test. I need you to do well. Hey, Jay. What up, my dude? Number 14. Okay. Also, out of curiosity, because I didn't even think about this, are you guys able to hear me like chewing and eating? Because I just realized that's probably gross and disgusting. Alright, so AJ, as I was saying before, whenever you see these parallel lines, again looking for that arrow there, you might want to try, oh, what's up, Isaac? My boy. You're going to want to try to see, hey, is the side splitter theorem here going to work? So side splitter meaning that the sides of parallel triangles are proportional. So here I'm going to see, does 6 over 3 equal 10 over x? Now this is so much nicer. ASMR. Don't know what ASMR is. So right here, I'm going to reduce the 6 and 3. All right, AJ, because I know that 3 goes into both. So I know 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 3 once. So then I'm going to have 2x equals 10. So then x equals 5. Now, let's say that you decide you forget that, okay? You can separate the triangles. Little triangle, big triangle. But then you're going to be dealing with this 10 plus x stuff, which isn't wrong, right? It's gonna work. You just have a little bit more work. You have a little more distributing amongst many things. So both ways will work. If you see those parallel lines, try the side splitter. You'll notice that on 15, I didn't use the side splitter because I didn't want to have to worry about that bottom left side. But, you know, that's okay because, again, we're just saying, hey, here are several ways of doing the same type of problem. Good job, Link. All right. Let's see here. Eob, you wanted 35. Then Dante 11. So let's go to 35. I feel like, no, I didn't do 11 yet. Okay. So 35. Eob, if your question is about the answer key is wrong on one of them. But let's just review it real quick. No, losing my cable there. So right here, the coordinate on M, 3 comma, wow, try this again, Mr. T. Let's try 1 comma 3. N, the coordinate is 3 comma 2. O, the coordinate is 2 comma negative 2. And then P is negative 1 comma 0. Now, scale factor of 3 means I'm going to literally multiply all of my coordinates by 3. So 3 comma 9, 9 comma 6, which I think that's where the typo was. I think it said 9 comma 4. That it should be a 6. 6 comma negative 6, and then negative 3 comma 0. Well, Miss Link, my whole job as a teacher is to help you guys succeed. Right now, you guys are lucky because I do not have any children, I don't have a wife, I don't have other time commitments or things that I need to do besides my master's program, but I'm mostly done with that. So, you guys are lucky. So I hope you guys, you know, get to cherish these awesome moments of us doing math. So yeah, that's your answer. and then hopefully you graph it correctly. Okay, the answer key is wrong on, I think, one of those coordinates. Dante will do 11, Ariana will do 20. Why do I feel like... No, we didn't do 20 yet. Okay, so 11... Thanks, Travis. So check this out. You got our vertical angle here, and then you have two sides. So right now, I'm thinking side angle side. I need to check and see if it works. So in the triangles here, you have a short side and a long side. Right here, I have a short side and a long side. So what I need to check is whether 12 over 6 equals 14 over 7.5. Now I know what you're thinking. Mr. T, there's a decimal. I don't like it. Well, you know what? You'll be fine. Watch this. 12 over 6, 14 over 7.5. Now, what I'm going to show you might blow some of your guys' brains. Okay? But what you need to remember is that I'm not breaking any rules here. I can reduce my 12 over 6. Right? I can reduce that to a 2 over 1. Now, if I check the cross multiplying with smaller numbers, as long as I've reduced correctly, this is not an incorrect way to check whether they're proportional. So I know 14 times 1 is 14. 7.5 times 2, that's the same as saying, hey, I've got $7.50. Two people have that same amount. How much money do they have together? They have 15. Whoops. Does not work. So not similar. Why? Because the sides are not proportional. All right, so then that was 11. Here comes that sugar crash, yay. 11, 20. 20. You did not differently? You did it differently, but got the same results. Well, Eob, as long as you do it in the right manner, you should be good. So, like, I think I know what you did, Eob. Did you possibly do this? 12 over 14 equals 6 over 7.5. Let me know in the stream, okay, because it matters. If you did the wrong proportion, I'm going to mark you wrong, okay, even if you get the right answer, okay, you have to do the correct work. This one, you might have gotten lucky, okay. Number 20. So right here, these are angle bisectors. So we are going to say, hey, these angles point to here. And so then we're going to say 2 over x plus 1 equals 8 over x plus 12. Okay, so Eob, right in the comment chat, let's see here. 14 over 7.5. It's moments like these that, Eob, that's literally the same fraction. You just switched the order. Okay. It's the same work, Eob. It's literally the exact same work. Anyways, back to this. Number 20. Cross multiply. So we're going to have 8 x plus 1 equal to 2 x plus 12. So then you distribute, give candy, 8x plus 8 equal to 2x plus 24. I understand you didn't cross multiply. You literally did exactly how I taught you. Good job. You did it right. All right, so now I'm going to subtract 2x. Now, I'm going to do two steps at once here because it's going to be easier for me right now. Take away 8 from both sides as well. Boom, boom, 6x equals 16. Divide both sides by 6. So then x equals 16 over 6, but I want you to reduce those fractions. Okay, these are both divisible by 2. So then we get 8 over 3. All right. So let's see here. We did 20. Earlier I did 11. Dante, you never told me if you understood 11. So I don't know if you're doing it right. Now there's only 9 people watching. It is almost 11 o'clock. You guys need some sleep. I need some sleep. We all need some sleep. You did. Okay, cool. Number 9? Okay, Grant. I got you. Number 9. We don't have that type of time. What? You'll have to elaborate more, Eob. Number 9. Yes, Grant. You may... What? You were the first one here? Me. Check it out, Grant. We got ourselves this triangle here on the left and this triangle here on the right. On the left triangle, I have a short side, medium side, long side. On the right triangle, I have the same thing, except be careful. This is the short side of the right triangle. This here is the medium side. This here is the long side. You don't have that kind of time to sleep? Well, guess what, Eob? You need to make yourself time to sleep. Alright, so check this out, Grant. Small over small, medium over medium, large over large. Okay, so we're going to have 8 over 16, 12 over 24, and then 16 over 32. So if you reduce all of these, I believe they all become 1/2. So they all have the same ratio. Yay! Now, here's the part where you've got to use your noggin, okay? Right here, ZWX, okay? ZWX. I passed through the long leg and the short leg. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this second triangle here. Long leg, short leg. That means the order of my letters is going to be Y, W, Z. Okay? So then what is our reason? Well, we worked with all 3 sides, so we should be writing side, 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 as I don't write. Similarity. Alright, Grant? Nothing's impossible, Eob. And I know you're going to come up with something literal, but how about this? It's not impossible to make time to sleep. 23 if there's time. Yeah, why not? Let's make some time. Because why not? 23. I've basically almost done all your homework. Alright, so 23. So right here, Ariana, you'll notice that I do not see, we'll get to 27 polka dot. I don't see any parallel lines here. Okay, no parallel lines, so I do not want to see this. Okay, we are not doing that. I'm not all about that thug life, okay? Instead, what you're going to do is separate those triangles. Yay! So for this one, we're going to have the small triangle of 6. You won't argue this time. Duly noted. I so tired and have a cold, I just couldn't think. No, Grant, you're good, man. You're good. You're good, man. So then on this one here, we have a length of 9. This one here, we have a length of x plus 4. And then on the bottom, we have a 15. Something I noticed some of you doing. I noticed some of you guys saying, oh, this plus this gives me that. They're not even connected. They're separated, right? Don't add them. Do not add them. Don't add the bottoms. Okay, bad children. So now here we're going to say 6 over 9. We're going to set that equal to x over x plus 4. And then for our next proportion, we're going to say y over 15. So 6 over 9 equals y over 15. I do recommend that you reduce your fraction, make your life easier. If you don't want to reduce, that's okay. You know, torture yourself. Why not? So here you're going to have 3x equals the quantity of 2 times x plus 4. 3x equals 2x plus 8. So then when you subtract the x over, x equals 8. Yay! Here we're going to cross multiply. Oh wait, Mr. T, what if you reduce first? Good call. 2 over 3. Reduce it. Boom, boom. So now we're going to have 2 times 15, which is 30. 3 times y, which is 3y. Boom, boom. Y equals 10. Gonna take a little ice cream break before I answer Polka Dot's question of number 27. And getting all these text messages here. All right, 27. All right, Polka Dot, you ready? I can't hear. Yay! I can't hear you. Aye, Captain. So we got these parallel lines there. So this is telling us, hey, we can set up our proportions. Boom, boom. Now be careful here, okay, because we are going to have some really funky stuff. Okay, we are going to multiply those, multiply those. Okay, so you're going to have 6x squared equals 80x. Now what you're going to want to do here, okay, don't divide x on both sides. We don't want to divide out the terms. We're going to want to actually practice here something you guys should remember again from your algebra class. We're going to move all the terms with variables to the other side. I cannot actually subtract 80x from 6x squared, so I'm literally just going to write it out. 6x squared minus 80x. Now on the right side, 80x minus 80x. It's gone. It's disappeared. What number do we use to represent nothing? 0. So what you're going to do here, Polka Dot, is you're going to do a little thing called factoring. Most of your guys' schools may have taught you the proper terminology by saying the GCF, the greatest common factor. So what you want to take away from both of these is you want to factor out a number that goes into both terms as well as a variable. In this case, both of the numbers are even, so I can take out a 2 from both of them. Both of the variables are an x, and the biggest power I can take from both is just a plain old x. So now what I have here is what's left over after I've essentially divided out the terms. I've undone the multiplication, or as you would say, I've undone a distribution. So you're going to have 3x minus 40. And so this is where that zero product property is going to come into play. We're going to say, hey, either this equals 0 or this equals 0. So then here we're going to add 40 to both sides. So then we're going to have 3x equals 40. Divide by 3. X equals 40 thirds. On the left one, well, 2x equals 0. If I divide both sides by 2, well, 0 divided by 2 is still 0. And if I go back to the context of my problem, can I really have a length that's 0, that is non-existent? Technically, yes, but then that makes this entire problem wrong. Because look, if I plug it in here, a length of 0, length of 0, length of 0, length of 80. 80 divided by 0 does not equal 0 over 0. So this will not do. This will not suffice. However, 40 over thirds will make sense because it is a positive value which represents a positive length. So there you go, Polka Dot. Hopefully that helped you out a bit. And for everyone else that was possibly stuck on that problem. Dun, 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 dun. I got 8 people left watching. Nine people. What's up, Noah? Similarity ratios. Similarity ratios. Like what numbers, Parker? I'm trying to think of similarity ratios. Oh, duh. So a similarity ratio, remember, a ratio is just a fraction. And specifically, this ratio is a comparison to figures or to lengths. So for instance, if we have, you know, again, talking about our models, like if we have even a map, or on a map we could say something like, you know, 1 inch represents for us 25 miles. This would be a similarity ratio, right? You could say 1 to 25. You could say 1 over 25, right? There are a couple different ways of saying a similarity ratio. In all of these problems here where I say, write for me the similarity ratio, I want you to write for me, well, how do you go from the small figure to the big figure? Like, what is the fraction there? So in this one here, Parker, we had all the lengths of 5 and all the lengths of 9. So my similarity ratio is 5 to 9. For every 5 parts of the smaller one, I have 9 parts of the bigger one. So that's what a similarity ratio is it's just a fraction. It's just a ratio that compares 2 different quantities. Can be lengths, can be perimeter, Later on next semester, we'll actually be talking about similarity ratios with regards to area and volume. Those have their own little formulas. They're not too hard. But again, we start you off here and then we work our way up. Let's see here. Ariana, you wanted to know the arrows for 25. Okay, so these are parallel lines. So I'm going to want to do this over this equals this over this. Dante, you wanted 24. So I'll get you on that one, which, hey, look, boom, done. All right, so check this out, Dante. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. The easy way is remembering that we have these parallel lines, so we could use a side splitter. Now, something you may not have seen, there you go, the easy way. Something you may not have seen too often us do, the last one too. I did the last one. Or do you mean 24? Write it in the comments. Something you haven't seen me do too much is saying part over whole. And the only reason we can do this one here as a part over whole is because on the right side, this is the whole length. Last question. Oh, this is your last question. Okay, no worries, dude. So then here I'm thinking to myself, well, this x and this 3 are both down below. They're both the bottom part of my sides. And since they are both on the right and left side of the triangle, we can kind of think of this side splitter as sort of being, hey, I can compare the bottom parts with the total length. Because the x is on the bottom, and so is the 3. So those are the two things I'm comparing with respect to the left and right hand side. Now, if the x were on top, let's just pretend for a second x is over here instead. I could do x and 8. I could say x over 22 equals 8 over 11. You can do it that way as well. In this case, however, we're going to want to stick to the original problem. So x over 22, 3 over 11, part over whole. So boom, boom. And this one should be a nice and straightforward cross multiplying. Bam. All right. Any other questions, my beautiful students, beautiful children? Thank you. You are welcome, Mr. Dante. Gotta give some people a chance to think, what could Mr. T answer? We've covered a lot of these. Yeah, we've covered almost every single one of those harder ones, huh? You're welcome, Ariana. $11.11. Make a wish, y'all. I know what I'm wishing for. I'm wishing that y'all do well on your test tomorrow. Ooh, snap. Alright. If there are no questions in the next 30 seconds, we'll say. 22. Okay. Do you see the parallel lines there, Ariana? Since we have parallel lines, you should be thinking, oh, alternate interior angles. Yay. And then these are the vertical angles. So check this out, child. Double angles are pointing to the x and 7. And then the single angles are pointing to the 10 and 15. So respectively, we can recycle that 10 over 15, set that equal to 12 over 1. Do 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 do. All right, I'm gonna call it a night then. I hope you all have a good rest of your night, that you guys don't stay up too late. I'm gonna definitely get some sleep. Yeah, just come bug me tomorrow morning. Good night, Noah. Night, Ariana. Good night, Dante. I don't actually know who else is still actually online. It doesn't show me. I'll just say good night to everyone. Good night, Parker. Good night, Grant. Good night, Eob. Good night, Logan. Good night, Dante. I think he already logged off, though. Good night, Travis. Good night, Link. Good night, Isaac. Good night, AJ. Good night, Don Corleone, who is our wonderful sponsor. Good night, AJ. I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. And then Ryan snatched my wig with his teaching. I still want to know who's this Ryan behind the scenes. We'll figure that out. Maybe. Yeah. Good night, y'all. Gotta close the program first.